Alright, so here we go. Now you see this, right? This is one window that's done. However, there's something there that you're not seeing. Let's shut this door for a minute, nice and easy. See these little buttons? Well, those are what's holding that window in. I can't put this stuff over those buttons because it'll just start popping off. I can't try to cut around them because it's not going to work, and it's not vinyl, so this stuff, I mean, it'll stretch, but because it's 50-50, it'll tear before it stretches. So I had to take the buttons out, and that's where I'm at. Now see, like I say, you can see out, but you can't see in. So I have all the buttons out. I'm putting this on, and then I'll put the buttons in immediately before I even start cutting and trimming this, because I do not want to lose a window. The big windows on the side are not that way, but every other window, I don't have to worry about this right now because the vinyl's holding it up. This window's fine. This window has buttons, and the windows on the other side have the buttons. So it's going to be a little bit more work and a little bit carefuler. There's a word for you. I have to be careful so I don't drop a window, and that's where I'm at. Now I don't want to pop the window out to do it because there is a little adhesive on the rubber. You know, when they put these up against the rubber, it kind of sticks to the rubber a little bit. You know, almost like if you're going to put the louvers on your windows or on your car, it has that little bit of a sticky rubber back. So I don't want to just pop them out because then I got to worry about replacing the rubbers, and I'm not going to get involved with all that. So this was the easiest way. So right now I'm going to find the holes. I'm going to pop the buttons back in, and then I'm going to decide, do I want to leave them black? Alright, so I don't know exactly how much of this you see and didn't see because the battery went dead on me. But as I was showing you, there's something here that you may or may not be seeing. The buttons. They have 4 buttons that are holding the glass in. Now if this was actual vinyl, I'd be able to go over the buttons, and then I have a little brush made to swirl over the buttons so that the vinyl will be tucked into the button. But with this stuff, it's not going to happen. This will end up tearing. So I have to take the buttons out, which I did. Now luckily, I didn't have to worry about the window too much, because when they put the window in with that rubber seal, it has a little bit of a sticky back on it, which allows it to kind of hold the window in place a little bit, as long as I don't slam doors. I don't want to take it out because I don't want to have to reseal it. So now what I'm doing is trying to find the hole. There it is. And I'll put that button through there. And I'll do the same thing up here once I find the hole. There it is. There. And then when I had this vinyl on there, the 50-50, it kind of helped hold. That's why I didn't cut it off yet. I didn't do any trimming until I get all this done. So I'm going to put these back on, and I will be right back. Alright, now seeing that the buttons are now in place and the window's not going to fall out, I didn't tighten them down yet. And first of all, don't snug them, just kind of like squeeze them a little bit, so I don't have to worry about it. So now I can trim off all this excess vinyl, get that window set. I'll go behind it, I'll give it a little squeeze, and then I'll leave it be. So that's where we're at so far. Gonna take a little longer to get them done, but you know, what are you gonna do? Now the thing is, this one's in the shade, but I'm looking into the sun, which makes it difficult. So I'll probably finish this one, and then that's it for today, or at least until I can get it into the yard where it's all shade. And I'll probably do that after Chris gets the seats out. Because to pull it in the yard and have him come to want to get to do the seats, and then it's a pain in the ass. Because, you know, I got to put the boys in the house, shut the kennel, open the gates, get the van out, close the gates, open the kennel. You know, so it's easier just to wait. And then I can do them all at the same time. All right, let me get this done. I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, there's one done. And another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. That's what it is. Alright, let me start on taking the other one apart. I'm going to clean the window first, and then I'll take the screws out of it and pop those pins out, and then I don't have to deal with worrying about it falling out. Alright, I will be back. Okay, so here we are. Again, I'm not going to finish the vinyl off until I get the pins in. All right, now let's get some of these finger tight. Now this one's actually a little bit harder to do because the door was open, the sun's been beating on it. So even if I did spray it, which I did twice, to try to get it to move for me, I was having a hard time with it. Again, you really don't want to do this if the sun's beating on it, unless you have to do it. And then make sure you have a lot of lightly sudsed water, because you're going to need it. Now regular vinyl, you know, your heavier stuff, isn't too bad because it'll take a little bit of, you know, moving it off, pulling it back. But when you're talking stuff like this 50-50 stuff, you're already 50% weaker. Plus, it's thinner to start with. So alright, so that's cut, but it's not cut in, if you know what I mean. Now sometimes when you got the sun shining in your face and you can't really see too much, you got to rely on feel when you're trying to get the bubbles out. And sound. You'll hear them and you'll feel them. And until you're going back and forth over that and you're feeling smooth, no bubbles, no hearing, no feeling anything, at that point just keep going. But don't get carried away and start pushing harder and harder and harder to hurry it through, because you end up ripping it or marking the vinyl. That's what I mean. You gotta take it easy. So now I'm going to take this and kind of tuck it around the corners, and then I'll cut it in from like the back side. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Okay, so here's what I mean. I wanted to tuck it, but it's like doing pinstriping. The folds will start to unfold after a while. That's why you like to leave that little space on the door if you can't get it around in far enough. So now I've got it in to where it's stuck to the side of the window. So I'm going to reach in here like this and cut it basically from behind. And I don't want to just rip cut. I want to kind of saw cut it a little bit. In this case, if I start just ripping and it hangs up, it may catch, and the next thing you know, it'll be pulling it out on me. And so now I got a nice clean cut. Now I'll show you what I'll do with that in a minute. Let me see, where did I start? Right there. I'm gonna have to put this down for a minute, guys. I'm not gonna be able to finish this and hold the camera at the same time. So let me do what I gotta do, and then I'll show you what I'm doing after that. Alright, up on top I was lucky. I was able to just kind of run it along as a slice and not a saw, because I had a good sharp track. Alright, so meanwhile, now I'm going to do is take this thing, because it fits right in there, and just kind of squeeze those edges off a little bit and round them off. Make sure those edges are nice and tight. Now I have another squeegee type tool that I can put a little bit of epoxy on it, or glue, so when I do this it's actually sealing the edges to the glass with a little bit of glue. I may or may not do that, I don't know. Let's see how it looks when we're done. What I'm looking for now is on the edges to make sure that I haven't got a little bubble where it tries to wrap around and push back. And I don't see any. So we're pretty set. Alright. What do we got? Let me get out of the sun. There we go. Not bad.